contract situations for Gino and Tanger. Just can you speak to what they've meant to you throughout the past 16 years? Gino said that you're like his, two brothers, you Canadian and Tanger French Canadian. Just what does that mean to you to hear that, and then just the experiences that you've had for the past 16 years?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we all feel the same way. We've been fortunate enough to play together for a long time, been through a lot, and I think you look at all those experiences, there's a lot of belief, a lot of trust in one another, and with that we've had success too. So I think, there's also a confidence level. So, that's very rare, and I think we all appreciate that. That being said, we understand that, it's not something that, can happen forever, but, hopefully a little bit longer. Hopefully we continue to play together, and it's unique, it's special, and like I said, I think we've done a pretty good job as a group and as a team. So hopefully that plays into it too.
Mike?
So there was a report that came out that you had been cleared for Game 6 but held back by the front office or whoever. I want to know if you wanted to respond to that in any way, and can you provide us with any kind of clarity in terms of when were you officially cleared, when were those final hurdles crossed that you were able to then play?
Yeah, I mean, I was cleared Sunday morning after the skate and the morning skate and things like that, just how I felt that day leading up to it. So pretty much Sunday before the game is when I was cleared. So there's a process you have to go through, and I went through that process. Wasn't cleared for Game 6, and was cleared for Game 7. So that was all there was to it.
Will?
Sid, you've been here a long time. Do you anticipate, Berkey or Hexie or even above them coming to you to talk about maybe what the team's plans are for the summer? Do you think you earn the right to have a say in sort of what direction this team goes in the offseason?
It's not my job. I mean, I think everybody knows how I feel about my teammates, and I think that the fact that we had a pretty decent season, obviously would have liked to continue to play, but the fact that we did play well, I think that that speaks for itself. So there's a lot of things that have to be balanced, and I understand that, but I wouldn't think I'd be telling them anything that they'd be surprised to hear. But it's not something that they necessarily have to ask me about anyway. So I don't think I've ever been one to really try to influence the roster. I think guys' games speak for themselves, and I think especially with Tanger and Gino, what they've done and what they continue to do speaks for itself too. So those are decisions that management have to make.
Shelley?
Me, I'm going to sneak in too. Real briefly, are there any chance of there being plans of you jumping over to join Canada, the Worlds?
No, I mean, I haven't been asked, and no, it's just it's kind of late, I think, isn't it? Isn't there a deadline anyway?
I'm not sure what the deadline. They're still playing for a couple of weeks. So.
Okay, yeah, I haven't talked to anyone about that, but
okay.
wish them good luck.
My real question is, you've seen a lot over the years in terms of off-season. There have been some various moves, and I'm sure you've had friends that have come and gone. Does this one, because of some contract situations, because you guys are not 25 anymore, does this one feel different, going into it, does it feel different for you, and if so, in what way?
Yeah, I mean, it's different just because of the fact that we are getting older, and there's so much history, and I think that just your thoughts, and you reflect a little bit more because of that, and the fact that it's something we've had to talk about and think about all year. I mean, it's not easy. I think it's amazing how those guys were able to kind of put that aside and continue to play the way that they did. It's never easy when you go through that situation, and only guys who have gone through it can speak to it, but I'm sure that they'd be the first one to tell you that it's not always easy. It's in the back of your mind, and there's a number of guys who are in that situation, but obviously with Tanger and Gino, it's it's a case of being here for so long and having to answer about it and deal with it. It's not easy. So I think they've handled it great. They've been great teammates, and everyone in that situation has been awesome. So it's reality and part of the business, but doesn't mean it's easy either.
You have a few more, Jeff in the back.
Sid, obviously there are a number of free agents, but how do you feel about the trajectory of the franchise and some of the younger guys that are on this roster right now?
Good. I mean, if you look at our team, I think that, I think when you evaluate everything at the end of the year, you're obviously looking at your group, but you're looking at individually. Did guys get better, and did we improve, and what areas? And if you go through our lineup, I'd say that there's a lot of guys that could say they had career years, regardless of their age or where they're at in their career. You look at Tanger, the year he had, but then you look at like Matheson, you look at Roddy or Heino. I mean, these guys had career years, and I think that says a lot about them. It says a lot about our group, and that's what you want. So that was why we had success. We had so many guys out, and different guys stepped up, and I think that's why we really believe that we're going to be playing longer, because of our ability to be able to do that all year. So, but I think to answer your question, I think that we've done a good job of having guys come in and step up and do well.
Wes?
Sid, Gino said that he would like to play for 3 or 4 more years. Crystal Tang said he doesn't really have an exact number, but said he could play 4 or 5 easily.
Yeah.
Do you have any sort of number that you have in mind, that how long you would like to play still?
Yeah, I mean, three for sure. And then we'll see after that. I mean, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but 3 definitely. So glad to hear that Gino said 3 and Tanger said 5+ probably. Not surprised at either of those answers. Those are pretty much par for the course right there. But glad that they're looking to keep playing. They can, and they're playing at a high level. So yeah, that's great to hear.
Chris?
There's lots of ways to measure subjectively, objectively, a level of play or evaluating a player or yourself. So there's too many questions along with those lines. Do you see yourself, whether, the way you feel or watch your tape or your numbers at 34, 35 as the same player you were, or same level of player you were at 24, 25, and do you see yourself going forward like that? And do you change your expectations of yourself than what you did 10 years ago, 15 years ago?
It's hard to say. I think I think as you get older, there's always different challenges, whether it's injuries you've dealt with or, things that you have to deal with that way, take care of your body. But as far as your experience and, knowing the game and what to expect, that should be getting better with age. So, it's kind of a trade-off, and kind of respect to those two things. But it's a hard one. It's a hard one to answer. I think it's hard to project where you're going to be, year in, year out. But you just want to have consistency, and I think as long as that's there on both sides of the puck, then that's a really important thing, I think, for me. So, I always look to get better, and that's a challenge every year. But as far as age and kind of where I'm at, I think it's a year-to-year thing. But I feel comfortable with my game and where it's at, and think that I can still be productive.
Last one, Mike?
You asked about these contract situations. Another one, Brian Rust. Just where do you feel like he brings the most value to this team, or how do you feel like he contributes, especially on your line?
Yeah, I think it's just his all-around game. I mean, he's somebody you can be used in every single situation. He's got a ton of speed. He's obviously shown he can score, but he's played in the power play, PK, every situation. So, and I think on top of that, you look at, the experience that he's gathered now. He's not where he was coming in. We were making a couple runs in a row. He's a guy who's played in a lot of different situations, a lot of big games, and showing that he can come up big. So I think that he's just an all-around player, and that's somebody who's kind of improved in every area really since he got in the league.
Thanks, Sid.